Jake, going back a couple weeks to the final drive in the Tennessee game, how do you think a drive like that prepares you for a game like this that's getting so much attention and so much hype?
I think all those kind of experiences are good for the team. You know, we had a lot of guys make a lot of plays in that last drive, and I think we're just going to grow from there.
I know everybody says take it one game at a time and you try to treat every game the same. Is that realistic this week, knowing what's on the line, the implications, and the opponent you're playing?
Well, you know, I think, it's a game that everybody always gets really excited about. So, we're going to be ready this Saturday.
With all the national hype, how do you guys just kind of stay within yourselves and not get too over anxious and too eager?
To be honest with you, I don't read much or see. I don't watch ESPN too much either. So to me, I don't really hear it or see it much. So I'm just trying to get ready for this game like any other game.
But you know how big it is. How do you do it internally? How do you deal with that internally?
I don't know. I think it just creates excitement for me, and I'm just glad to be part of this game.
That was one thing, though, Nick Saban discussed about the Ole Miss game, that maybe guys were a little too fired up pregame, maybe kind of lost focus a little bit because they were a little too hyped up to get that, to play in that game on that stage. Is that something maybe you guys can learn from? Is that something you're trying to manage?
Yeah, I think over the course of this season, even I think everybody's kind of found their own way to deal with big games, and I think all these games that we played, the big games we've been in so far this season, has really helped.
Do you think you've seen a defense like this? What kind of challenges do you already know that they're going to bring to you?
I think this defense is really similar to our defense as far as the toughness and the athleticism that they have and they bring to the table. So it's going to be tough, but we're looking forward to this game.
Jake, now that you're getting your reps and things of that nature, and we're 4 or 5 weeks into that, how far have you seen your game improve? Because it's no longer splitting it. It's different when it was early on, but now we're deep, and how far you've progressed individually.
I feel like I've definitely gotten better, and I think the guys have gotten more comfortable with me back there, and I think everybody's getting more comfortable with each other.
I know a couple weeks ago we talked about how you've embracing being the starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide. Quarterbacks are often judged by games they win against teams like Harvard and LSU. Is that something that you feel maybe a little additional pressure this week, knowing that these are kind of legacy-building games for quarterbacks who play at the school?
It means a lot to me, that's for sure. I really want to win all these games, but to me, I'm just kind of trying to prepare like any other game.
What do you do in your spare time to take your mind away from it then? You talked about preparing, so if you're not watching ESPN, you're not watching Fox 6, I don't know why you wouldn't watch us, but what do you do then to relax and keep your mind at ease and stuff?
If I'm not watching film or something, getting ready for the game, I usually just watch movies or something like that. Just try to keep my head out of the whole ESPN, and not that I don't like ESPN or anything like that. I'm just saying I try to stay away from it.
Obviously, your number one goal is to win games, but have you seen yourself grow throughout the last 5-6 weeks from a game manager to a playmaker, anything like that?
I think I've gotten more comfortable playing out there. Just because the more games you get, obviously the more comfortable you're going to be. Especially with the guys, I feel like the timing and everything has gotten a lot cleaner. And but for anything else besides that, not really.
Based on what you've seen and what you've had and played the last couple of games, I know Calvin Ridley has made some big plays. How do you think he's matured and grown, and how your kind of rapport is kind of?
Yeah, I think it's I think it's pretty obvious how he's doing a lot of things perfect, and him and Ardarius and all the other guys, they're running routes cleaner, doing everything that they need to do, and I just got to give them the ball.
Reggie, you've played in this game before, and Coach Saban was talking about how when the quality of play is so high in the individual matchups, you're not going to necessarily dominate the opposing guy, but the hope is that over the course of the game, you win more battles than your guy does. As a player, do you think in those terms in big games like this?
When I'm playing, I try to do my job every time, try to get to the ball, and hopefully through the course of the game, I keep wearing him down. Hopefully he doesn't wear me down, but the course of the game, you got to keep trying to wear him down, keep chopping the wood until you finally can find a little aspect where you can break through. And that's the name of this game. You got to keep fighting because their side's not going to give up, our side's not going to give up. So you got to keep going. Just something got to give. So you just got to keep playing hard throughout the whole game.
With all the attention on Leonard Fournette, obviously, is there anything more urgent about this game and stopping the run than any other game, or is it the same?
He's probably the best player in college football. So anytime you go up against a guy like that, it's more excitement to it. But you still got to do your job. End of the day, you got to wrap him up, just like everybody else out there. So you got to wrap him up and get everybody to keep running to the ball. But he's a great player, he's a great athlete. But you just got to run to him and wrap him up because if you don't, he'll go all day on you.
How comfortable are you with the fact that you can stop the run, that they may not hurt you with the pass? But how important is the secondary going to be?
I believe secondary is going to step up. Them guys been excited for it and they're ready for the challenge. But it's all about they love to run that ball, so they got to come downhill and run and help us out on that tough running back they got.
Does it help preparing for Fournette, seeing Derrick Henry practice every day?
Oh yeah, I love going against Derrick. You know, he makes me a better player every time I go up against him. I have to tackle Derrick, 6'4", 240. I got to wrap him up. So it's very helpful that you got a guy like Derrick out there to help you tackle a guy like Fournette.
Do you guys get more physical for a player like that in practice when, last couple of games maybe you guys might have taken a little easy to get your legs back, but for a physical player like Fournette, that you have to be more physical in practice to prepare for it?
I feel like my team is very physical already, but you just got to have the right mindset going up against a guy like that. It's all about having the right mindset of doing your job and your job only. You can't worry about nobody else's job. You got to take on your gap. You got to strike your blocker. You got to take your guy on. It's all about the one-on-one battles in this game, and it's all about the up front because whoever dominates up front wins the game normally. So it's all about the guys up front doing their job, the front seven.
In your past experience, has this game been more physical than others throughout the years?
Oh, I think college football is just physical, period. Just going up against anybody. But for the past couple years, yeah, this game has been real physical. Especially with the rivalry with Coach Saban coaching at LSU, and a bunch of guys from LSU playing against a bunch of guys from Louisiana playing against LSU. So it's a rivalry within on the team. We got a bunch of guys from Louisiana, and they got a bunch of friends on the LSU team that they go up against. And it's just a physical game, period. It's a bunch of good players that's big, physical, and fast on both sides. So it's all about whoever wants it the most at the end of the game.
Going off of that, it's one of those. I mean, you guys are so good at sitting here every week. One game at a time. Every game's the same. Every opponent's the same. I mean, can you realistically say that this week, knowing what's on the line and who the opponent is? I mean, it's got to be different, right?
Oh yeah, of course, but it's still, this game is in front of us, and it's one game at a time still. And Leonard Fournette's in front of us, LSU is in front of us. It's all about us doing our job against this team, and we can't worry about what's next week. We got to worry about what's going on right now. So we're still not worried about next week. We're worried about what's going on right now, and this week is LSU.
But it's got to be a different feel though with the ramifications in the rivalry, right?
Of course, the media, y'all gonna hype it up to be more than what it really is. So of course, but it's still a big game. It's at stake. Whoever wins this game probably gonna be top 4 or whatever. But I'm not worried about no rankings, nothing like that. I'm just worried about just focus on my team getting better and getting ready for an opponent like this against LSU.
Reggie, Coach Saban has talked about how maybe the team was a little too fired up for the Ole Miss game, and that was maybe the root of the problems early on. How do you guys avoid that and also balance the emotion that I'm sure you guys are going to be feeling before kickoff?
Just the whole week, you can't worry about what's going up leading up to the time. You just got to worry about preparing the right way. And I feel like that Ole Miss week, yeah, we was too excited, but we also didn't prepare the right way either. So we got to prepare the right way this week and just build off the things that we didn't do good in the past 8-9 weeks. So we just got to worry about getting better and just preparing for an opponent like this.
Coach, you seen from Brandon Harris?
He for the past couple games, he's from the beginning of the year, he's got a whole lot better. But it's all about stopping him, and then he got a whole lot better. He's throwing the ball well. He's leading that team in general all the way to where they need to go. He's lining up the front, the big guys up front. He's calling the plays. So we just got to stop him and the whole team. So I'm very excited and ready.
With the bye last week.
Leadership is something we've talked about all year long with you. With a game like this, is there anything you can tell younger players who maybe haven't experienced it, what the atmosphere is like and what it's like in prime time and that sort of thing?
Just don't do nothing that's going to bring attention to yourself. Just be calm and cool. It's just like any other game, but it's just hyped up a little bit more. So you just got to have the right mindset. You just got to be focused and prepare the right way. And you just got to tell them that the whole week and just focus in on your job, and you can't worry about what's going on the outside. You don't worry about what's going on in front of you.
With the bye last week, do you guys feel re-energized like you needed last week? How do you guys feel with that?
I know me personally, I feel better knowing that I ain't gonna have to hit nobody for a little bit, but it's good on some guys that's banged up. They got a chance to rehab and get back to not 100%, at least 80 or 90%.
Knowing how the LSU game ended last year and then seeing Jake Coker get the game-winning drive there against Tennessee, how much confidence that gives you as a team leader on what your offense can do when you guys do your job?
I'm very confident in my team in a period. So it's all about if you do your job, that's what happens. They did their job on that drive, and they made some good plays.
Brian, I know you guys always talk about the next game week to week, but just given the history between these two schools, what's at stake with this game? Is there anything a little extra around the program this week?
Not really. It's just another SEC game. Obviously, it's hard to deny the fact that every LSU game we've played has always been a hard-fought battle, and I think it's a test that we're ready to take on. I think the bye week was really huge for us. We had a little time to relax, get some guys healthy again, and most of all, I think we improved fundamentally across the board, and I think a lot of guys took advantage of that. So I think we feel pretty confident going into this week.
The last few years they've been close games, and you guys have fared well there. Is there any psychological edge there, you think?
No, you look at last year. That came down to that last-minute drive where we would rehearse that every Thursday since I can remember being here, and it just came down to executing what we've always been taught to do. So the team who's more disciplined is going to play better. Is going to win. So that's what we're going to try to do. We can't play out of scheme. Can't let the environment get to us. Just kind of play our game, and every man do his job in his box, and we'll be fine.
How much have you guys grown as a unit, confidence-wise? Again, it seems like every week we check on you guys when it comes to your chemistry and stuff. But how is it, and especially with a week like this, how important can that be, and how much have you guys come along?
I think the bye week was huge for us. Coach Cristobal and Coach Kiffin, pointed out some occurring issues that kept coming up. I think one of the biggest things was just the negative plays that we've continued to kind of let up, and it really hasn't been about what they've done. It's been about the negative plays that we've done for ourselves. Just the lack of communication, or some guy misses block here, some guys didn't do the right thing. So that was one of the biggest things we worked on, in the bye week, just to limit that and just keep care of the ball, and just keep moving forward. So I think we took a big step this last week.
From what you've seen with the defensive front from LSU, what makes them so special?
I think they play a lot harder and faster than last year. They're a bunch of guys who have already. I think they returned almost every single guy on defense, or just in the box alone, and they play really hard. I know Coach Steele's probably done a great job with those guys, and we know they're going to get their best test come Saturday. So we got to bring our A game, and we know they're going to bring theirs.
Jake Coker's obviously gotten better every week, but do you feel like it's been partly how well you guys have been doing up front on the line too?
We probably haven't protected him as well as we should have, but Jacob's a heck of a competitor, a guy who brings a lot of energy to the game, and so even when we haven't been perfect, he's been there to pick us up. So it's just kind of a confidence booster with a team with an offense who's still kind of emerging and trying to find our identity. And we still have a lot of young guys who haven't played a whole lot of games. So Jake's done a great job of stepping into leadership role as a quarterback and just keep moving forward.
How close do you think you guys are to really honing in on that identity right now?
I don't know. There's not like a scale. Once you get there, you're like, all right, we're done. It's just kind of you kind of keep moving forward week in, week out. Week in, it's gonna there's always going to be a new task or a new goal or a new kind of hill to get over. A different challenge. So we're just going to keep grinding week in, week out, and bring our best effort every single day.
Watching the film, what difference do you see from Coach Chavis' defense last year to what Coach Steele's doing this year with the LSU defense?
There's some similarities, but Coach Steele's done a great job. I know when he was here, he did a great job for us, and either way, it doesn't really matter about schemes or anything like that. It's going to be us, our 11 versus their 11, and who wants to win more. So we're going to have a great game plan for them, and just do our best.
Brian, a couple of questions on this. You look great. You were dealing with a concussion at the time?
What?
3 weeks ago? Were you dealing with it?
At the A&M?
Yeah. Okay. For the viewers, what was the feeling like for you at that initial point for you? They may not fully understand what a player might go through at that point. Can you recall what you were feeling?
Honestly, I don't want to talk about that. It's just not something I want to talk about, and just kind of put it in the past. And every guy kind of deals with it differently, but just not something I want to talk about right now.
Hey, Leonard gets a lot of the hype, but your running back, Derrick Henry, having a almost similar season to him. Just talk about your running back and what he's done for your team.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick's done a great job all year. Just really been a guy with a lot of passion, a lot of energy on our offense. And like I said 100 times before, it's awesome to block for that guy. He's not gonna be a guy who's gonna only run it 15, 20 times a game. He's gonna get it every down after down after down, and then also just help out so much in the pass protection as well. So they have a great running back too, but I think ours is pretty good as well.
There's a lot of talk about who wants it more, obviously. Is this game, in your opinion, in the past, been more grinded out inch by inch than any other game maybe you played?
I mean, yeah, every SEC game is not going to be, you're not going to win just on some trick play or some fluke. It's always going to be about the guys up front, doing their job in the trenches. And I think this game is no different than that. It's going to be a test for us and one that we're going to prepare for starting today. So.
Eddie, there's been so much made about what Leonard Fournette has done this season. From what you've seen, what is it that makes him such a good running back?
I mean, he's a guy. He's physical. He likes to get downhill. I mean, he runs through arms, tackles. So you really have to just focus on wrapping him up and bringing him down to the ground.
When you get to work against a guy like Derrick Henry in practice, is there a better way to prepare for facing a running back like Leonard?
No, sir. I mean, Derrick is one of the great backs out there as well. He can run downhill, stretch the sideline of the field vertically. So, I mean, you focus on really tackling with Derrick. You thud him up, you wrap him up, get a good hit on him. And we hope it results in the same thing into the game.
LSU's quarterback doesn't get a whole lot of credit for being a good quarterback. What's your opinion on him?
I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. I mean, we watch him grow as a player, especially being a young guy taking the role of the team. He's a guy that really can stretch the field. He can scramble. He can throw the ball deep. So you really have to focus on containing him. You can't sleep with him at all.
When he has that chance to run, what's the secondary's role with that?
Just basically stand with your guy until he crosses that line. Then you come up. We don't want him to, some things like that happen over this game. Just got to stay with your man. No deep plays.
If history is any indicator in this series, it's going to be a close game on Saturday. The way that you guys stepped up both offensively and defensively in the win over Tennessee late, how much confidence does that give you guys moving forward?
I mean, we always had the confidence. We just know when we come out there and we play our game, we have our mental intensity high, and we go out there and execute. No one can stop us. So we really just focus on in practice this week is execution, playing a game that we have to play to win. We know it's going to be a dogfight, a 60-minute game. They're a great team, so we got to come out and play our game.
You could say their offense is a little different from a lot of things that you face, because even Coach Saban said more conservative, but they do it well.
Yeah.
They're not going to hit a big play all the time. Is there any change in preparation or mindset for a team that is going to grind it out every single play?
I mean, kind of. We know they're going to run the ball. Their old-fashioned team is going to be physical. We're going to run the ball, and you're going to stop us. If not, they're going to keep running it. They have great receivers that can stretch the field as well. So we really just have to come out as a defense and offense, play a complete game.
How you feeling physically, and how much did the bye week help you out?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, it helped out a lot. Got some rest. So.
There's so much made about just the amount of talent that you see on the field in this series. 100 guys have been drafted between the two teams since 2007. Does this game just feel different when you're actually in the moment playing with that talent level?
I mean, it feels like every other game, every other Saturday. We come out, got to execute, play our game. Like we know they're a great team. They're going to do some things that we've never seen before. We just got to be prepared for it and play our game. We play our game, execute, we can get the win.
What was your first reaction when you were told, hey, we're going to try you out at safety?
It was a little bit crazy. I'm like safety, but I played in high school, so I was ready for anything. Like I said, I put my trust in Coach Saban, what he feels the need, what we need, so just run with it.
Do you think that, this is something that I think a lot of other schools, a lot of other teams, a lot of other coaches are going to say, hey, we need someone who can cover a little bit more ground at the safety position. Do you feel like this is something that we're going to see more and more of, where guys can be moved from the corner to the safety, do you think?
I'm not sure. I'm not a really big fan of what they do at other schools. I just know what Coach Saban has and his plan was, so I just ran with it.
Did it help? Did it help with the fact that you had the safety knowledge then from high school?
Yes.
Do you think that really is the reason
Yes,
why
sir.
you had
It
success?
helped a lot.
Do you think this secondary, preseason, all the hype was getting thrown to the front seven on the defense. Do you think the secondary has surprised some people with its play this year?
Yes, I really think we did. Like we came out there to work hard. You know, we was the underdogs of the team, all the criticism. So we really worked hard on, you know, becoming one of the strong factors on the team and having a complete defense. So